Hello, everyone. My name is Sana Pathan, and I'm your host for the podcast series Corporate Connect. And today with me, I've got Mr. Karim Teli, who is the managing director at Igloo, one of the most profound names in the dairy industries. And Grace, I would like to welcome him to the podcast room, talking about the entrepreneurial mindset and also elaborating on how youth can actually build it and grow through his experience. Welcome on board.
Thank you, Ji. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam. Ji Kareem, so I want you to tell me a bit about yourself. Who is Karim Teli and what has made you achieve and attain so much in your life as an entrepreneur and with so much pride in Pakistan?
Well, most of you must have seen me at Shark Tank Pakistan, so let me start from the beginning. My name is Karim Teli by profession. I'm a marketeer, I'm a producer, I'm a motivational speaker, leadership consultant, and a business coach. Also, director at multiple companies, mostly focused towards FMCG and Igloo Pakistan, as you mentioned, one of the largest ice cream manufacturers of Pakistan. It has been a long journey. I did my schooling from city school and then did my bachelor's and master's from abroad, and then came back and joined the company and joined the group. So it has been a long journey overall, but yes, with every journey you gain experience, you learn a lot of things, and this is what Beacon House is doing, I believe. So they're teaching so many students with so many different fields and experiences which one can learn and then they use it in real life in their
Absolutely, absolutely.
environment.
So, Kareem, we have been talking about in the past few decades about entrepreneurial mindset. And it seems like a buzzword. It seems like a fancy narrative that's been built around in the past few years, especially जो आज की generation है उसके लिए तो everybody wants to become an entrepreneur and nobody wants to take, salary bracket employment. तो थोड़ा उसके बारे में please let us know what exactly is entrepreneurial mindset and how one can build it.
Well, you must have heard the grass is always greener from the other side.
Correct.
So people romanticize this कि यार बहुत पैसे होंगे, fame होगा, success होगी, and freedom of work होगा. I can work anytime I want. But this is not exactly how it should. It is. I mean, if you see, पाकिस्तान में आजकल स्टार्टअप का कल्चर बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रेंडिंग है, and everybody wants to start up his or her own business or venture.
Right.
And they often come and ask me कि मैं किस तरह कर लूँ या किस तरह इसको बड़ा कर लूँ. इसके अंदर देखें, startup, whenever you want to start up your business, there are 2-3 fundamentals which you have to say keep up with. Is like आप कभी भी you can't go back on it.
Right.
So if you have an idea, you have to go for it. What usually happens in Pakistan is कि लोगों के पास आइडिया बहुत सारे हैं. एक पहली चीज़ ये कि वो मार्केट सर्वे नहीं करते हैं. Market survey is very important because अब जिस तरह पढ़ते हैं आप बिजनेस में ही पढ़ते हैं, you need to identify the need before you go for something in the execution phase. So अगर आपकी need, if there is a need for a particular product or service in the market, then you should start it.
I absolutely agree.
What
with that.
happens is कि individual पहले सोचता है कि मैं ये product बना लूँगा, इससे ये हो जाएगा, because वो उसने market survey नहीं की होती, market size नहीं देखा होता, तो it often fails. Failures ज़्यादातर इस तरह नज़र आते हैं. But what they are often looking at is the people who are successful in the industry. So they have worked their life of कि यार इतना दिन रात काम करना पड़ता है. It's not just कि you start a business, you start earning, you get fame, you get success. It's not like that. The people who you see today have worked their asses off the whole long time, and then they've got at some point कि यार अब now they've been shown to the world and people see them as a successful entrepreneur. For me, I personally believe if you have identified the problem in the market, you have a solution for it, then you should go for it. Keep up with that, and obviously you need to stay there in the market for at least a year, because
Right.
brands are often like, it's not an overnight sensation, it's not an overnight success. It takes years for a brand to become an identity. And if somebody wants to be an identity, they have to work day and night to make their brand worthwhile.
Right. Since you mentioned about working really hard, and there is no way anybody can deny it because nothing comes easy. You need to work towards it. Why is it that success has been glorified only around attainments and achievements, and nobody's talking about, especially to the Gen Zs, nobody's talking about failure is part of success rather than an isolated element?
Failure, one should not be scared of failure. First thing, what I have learned so far is कि इंसान गिर के सीखता है. So every day we are learning something. And if somebody is starting up his or her own venture, business, whatever they are planning to start up, आप गलती करेंगे, उससे सीखेंगे, और then you're gonna reevaluate, reproduce, and then give a bigger and a better picture of the product or service which they are selling in the market. Often what happens is कि हम है ना थक जल्दी जाते हैं कि यार
हाँ,
फेल हो गए, ये सक्सेसफुल नहीं हुआ. उसकी दो वजूहत हैं. पहली वजूहत, आपने पूरा मार्केट सर्वे नहीं किया होता,
right.
एंड देन दूसरा ये है कि आपने टेस्ट मार्केट नहीं किया होता अपने प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस को. ऑफन व्हाट पीपल डू इज दे स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑफ मनी, अपनी जितनी जमा पूंजी होती है वो लगा देते हैं, नुकसान हो
Right.
जाता है, एंड देन कहते हैं यार ये तो कामयाब नहीं हुए हम, लेट्स डू समथिंग एल्स.
Right.
बट दूसरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ये कि उसी आइडिया को देखते हुए दूसरे लोग अपना बिजनेस कर लेते हैं एंड वो सक्सेसफुल स्केल अप हो जाते हैं. दैट्स बिकॉज वो आपकी गलती से सीख के बेहतर कर रहे हैं कुछ.
Right.
So eventually what happens is, what I say कि यार आप you start with something small, test the market, test the waters. If things are going well, then you make it bigger.
Right.
आप पहले फेज में एकदम से सब चीज ना डाल दें, and slowly and gradually it will grow, and
Right.
obviously a brand will take time to grow, and it will obviously it will take multiple years
Right.
for a brand to scale up at a certain level.
Right.
So
But
this is how
Kareem,
it is.
it's also seen कि I mean कहते हैं give devil its due. कुछ businesses वाकई बहुत जल्दी स्केल कर जाते हैं, मतलब मिनट्स और डेज और महीनों के अंदर. तो ऐसे भी हमने हिस्टोरिकली विटनेस किया है कि कुछ ब्रांड्स जो है वो एकदम आए,
Overnight
विद इन
sensation.
डेज उनको सेंसेशनलाइज एक मार्केट आउटपुट मिला एंड दे ग्रू लाइक एनीथिंग एंड दे बिकम द माइंडसेट ऑफ यूथ.
So देखें, उसके अंदर भी there are 2-3 different angles that one has to look at. The first thing is the market survey. So you have to identify the problem. If there is a problem in the market and there is a larger audience which is associated with that problem, then your solution will definitely work with that. और अगर वो solution आपका अच्छा है तो आपको automatically scale up हो जाएंगे. Like let's take like a small example. These days you must be seeing a lot of coffee shops popping up
Yes,
around the
yes,
country.
yes.
And your coffee shop culture is growing tremendously. Now there are few coffee shops which are not working at all.
I get it.
And everybody is starting up coffee shops. So the idea behind coffee shop is nothing new. It is just that you're brewing coffee, you're serving it to the end customer. But what the customer wants is an environment. Now the people who've started up coffee shops and they know that they want to give an environment to their end user
Right.
are succeeding right now because एक अच्छा environment मिल रहा है. तो जो Gen Z आ रही है वहाँ पे बैठ रही है, उनको environment मिल रहा है, they're getting good coffee, they're getting good dessert. That's how it's clicking. And जहाँ पे environment नहीं है, people would not like to sit.
Right.
Because obviously more or less all the brands are charging somewhat the same amount of money for the experience which they are giving to their end consumer. But वो experience कैसा है? So it's the experience that matters and that scales you up in a certain position at any brand. Like I'm giving you a coffee shop example. It could be any product, cosmetics, maybe FMCG, and it can create multiple avenues through that.
Right.
So one has to analyze that before starting anything.
Right. Interestingly put thought. Thank you, Kareem. My another very important, dimension of thinking would be कि आपने mention किया कि failure is part of the process, and you very rightly said कि once you are doing the right homework,
Yes.
bringing the right results to your table.
True.
Tell me कि ऐसे कुछ, जैसे हमने कहा कि ऐसे कुछ businesses हैं जो overnight succeed हो रहे हैं, लेकिन ऐसे भी businesses हैं जो कि बार बार fail हो रहे हैं,
बार-बार fail हो.
despite the fact that the idea is great, the product knowledge is excellent. तो repeated failures अगर आप या repeated rejections face कर रहे हैं, how as an entrepreneur you got to build emotional intelligence that it doesn't let you down and lose you on your confidence, yet you are firm that I will make my mark one day.
No, I mean a lot of businesses fail. Even successful people fail in something or the other. It's just that we are not seeing the bad side of the picture. We're just seeing the good things that are coming up, popping up to us. So on social media feeds and maybe in न्यू बिजनेस न्यूज़ अराउंड द वर्ल्ड, हम देखते हैं कि ये सक्सेसफुल चीज़ हो गई। बट फेलियर, अब देखें, इफ यू सी एलॉन मस्क, मल्टीपल उसके रॉकेट फेलियर्स हुए थे, उसके बाद जाके फाइनली उसका एक रॉकेट गया एंड देन थिंग्स स्टार्ट टू
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
Similar cases with Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, all these brands which we see in the market, they've all gone through failures. But what happens is they first do the survey that what went wrong, how it went wrong.
Yeah.
Let's reevaluate,
Yeah.
and then let's rebuild.
Yeah.
This is how one should do. कि यार let's reevaluate and rebuild. ये हम भूल जाते हैं, हम कहते हैं यार फेल हो गए, किसी को पसंद नहीं आया, बंद कर दो। और एक तो पाकिस्तान में मसला ये कि we get so many advices कि यार ये अच्छा चलेगा नहीं चलेगा, हम उसके अंदर खो जाते हैं, हम ये नहीं देखते कि यार हम कर लें। बिकॉज हमारे यहाँ फेलियर का इतना डर बैठ गया है हम में कि हम है ना नया स्टार्टअप करने में घबराते हैं और सब एक दूसरे से डिस्कस ही कर रहे होते हैं। एंड ऑफन व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि मैं अगर यूनिवर्सिटी लाइफ में था, मैंने 4 साल पहले अगर किसी से कुछ डिस्कशन किया था कि मैं ये स्टार्टअप करूंगा, इफ आई डोंट डू इट देन वो 4 साल बाद उस आइडिया की कोई वैल्यू नहीं रहती। So if I wanted to start up something very unique which was not there in the market and there was a gap and potential for it, और वो मैं 4 साल बाद करूँ, 4 साल बाद शायद किसी और ने कर दिया होगा। So execution at the right time also matters. So we have to get out of the fear zone, come to the execution mode and have a great idea which could serve the end consumer.
Right.
Yeah.
Now going back to the mind, body and soul of a Gen Z. Karim, I want you to tell me, if I am a young Gen Z with great idea, with great academic background, just like Beacon House International College, we promote our students through Foundry to pitch their ideas and become great resources for Pakistan and internationally also. What kind of skills do they need to acquire right now at the stage of their life to build their entrepreneurial mindset? And that allows them to navigate the challenges as you've put through and become successful in whatever time period they've decided for themselves.
So I believe it's all about the right mindset, and one has to keep on learning, and one has to remember, if you want to start up something, it is not always that you're going to be successful in a week's time or a month's time. There are very few cases that you can grow that tremendously at a short span of time. But what happens is कि हम ये भूल जाते हैं कि हम बस ये सोचते हैं कि बस हमें पैसे मिल जाएंगे, हम काम करेंगे। But as a founder, a founder is the one who has to work day and night for the brand to succeed. He is the one who will not know that at the end of the month मुझे कुछ पैसे मिलेंगे या नहीं मिलेंगे.
Right.
If he or she has a team of people working for him or her, तो उनको ये सैलरियाँ किस तरह देंगे, वो अपने ऑफिस का किराया कैसे निकालेंगे, बिजली का बिल कैसे भरेंगे। These are all the things that the founder is worried about all the time कि यार मैं बिजनेस स्टार्ट करूंगा तो मेरी ये सारी चीज़ें होंगी। ऑफन दूसरे जो दोस्त लोग देख रहे होते हैं बोलते हैं यार ये तो अपनी कंपनी है यार, एंजॉय करो, लाइफ अच्छी चल रही है भाई, फाउंडर है, अपने टाइम से आते हैं, अपने टाइम से जाते हैं, चीज़ें अच्छी लगती है। लेकिन इफ़ यू आर अ फाउंडर, you have to work more than your fellow colleague or employee that is working in your organization, because at that point of time the plane has just taken off.
Yep.
You're not in the air as yet.
Right.
So you can have disturbance in between, you can have it can crash. So you have to be very steady, slow and calm in the decisions that you make, because it's all about the right decisions that you make during your journey.
Right.
And if that one decision is wrong, then things will fall apart. Nothing will go the right way. So ये थोड़ी छोटी छोटी चीजें that one has to focus, and also at the same time keep on learning. Have great mentorship. These days people need a lot of mentorship because वो idea उनके पास, the young talent of Pakistan is amazing. I mean, I've met a lot of people who have great ideas, great talent, but either they are lacking on funds, they have limited funds, or they are scared that they're gonna fail, या फिर इनके साथ ये होता है कि यार मेरे घर वालों का कोई और बिजनेस है, मैं नहीं कर सकता। स्मॉल पेटी प्रॉब्लम्स, बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज दे डोंट एग्जीक्यूट। एग्जीक्यूशन जब टाइमली नहीं होती ना, तो आइडिया की कोई वैल्यू नहीं होती। and one should have the execution idea in place before thinking about something.
Right. So tell me, Karim, if I am an employee of an organization, or I am a young graduate who has opted to start the life with being an employee somewhere, and down the lane I realize, being an employee to an organization is not my cup of tea. And it's high time I become an entrepreneur. What kind of shift do you recommend should happen in the brain for me to think like an entrepreneur?
So, I mean, we all learn from the experiences we have. And I believe doing a job somewhere, being a part of an organization, growing organization is also as good as starting up your own company. Just you have to keep two things in mind. If you're working in an organization, you're doing a good job, you'll get a good growth, your salary will be consistent, you will be getting paid every month, and the founder has to be worried about how to run their team and the people around them. And if you are a founder, you got to be doing all the things which that particular founder is doing to make that brand successful in the market. So these are two different things. You have to be up in your game, you have to be persistent, and you have to accept the challenge. And obviously, you have to be with the right people, because if you are doing something, you need to get learnings from the people who are already working in that particular sector or organization, because that will give you the hands-on experience of that individual, and that will help your company to grow.
Right.
Because अक्सर लोग है ना उन लोगों से मशवरा ले रहे होते हैं जिन्होंने काम ही नहीं किया होता.
Right.
तो होता क्या है कि वो आइडियाज आपको ऐसे ही मिलते हैं क्योंकि उन्होंने नहीं किया, तो वो आपको क्या बता देंगे.
Right.
और वो फिर अपने ब्रांड के साथ वो ऐसी तैसी हो जाती है उसकी. FMCG के अंदर the most important part which I believe is one has to deal with the width and the depth of velocity. तो अब width multiply by depth multiply by velocity का मतलब क्या होता है कि number of outlets which you are targeting for your product. So a lot of people these days are launching different products. So whether it's cosmetics, whether it's food, whether it's restaurants, so हम लोग width पे नहीं जाते हैं. तो विड पे अगर आप जाएंगे ना, तो विड पे ये होता है कि आप मल्टीपल लोकेशंस पे अपना प्रोडक्ट अवेलेबल करा दें. एंड देन द डेप्थ इज कि अगर उस स्टोर पे आपका पिकअप ज़्यादा है, फॉर सपोज आई एम सेलिंग अ लिपस्टिक और अ नेल पॉलिश and I know this particular store in particular area is selling a lot, then you need to replenish that inventory. You need to get a maybe a more shelf space for that particular product. तो ये आपकी डेप्थ बढ़ती रहेगी. जब डेप्थ बढ़ेगी आपकी, तो आपकी है ना डेप्थ से क्या होगा कि आपका रेवेन्यू बढ़ जाएगा.
Right.
हम क्या होते हैं, हम नए पॉकेट्स ढूंढने की तलाश में होते हैं. तो पहले जो आपके पास है, पहले वो उसको देखें जहाँ से ग्रोथ मिल रही है, एंड देन यू गो समवेयर एल्स. बिकॉज what I have seen so far in a lot of brands is कि वो एक चीज खोल लेते हैं, दूसरी चीजें मल्टीपल जगहों पे वो पेनिट्रेट करने की कोशिश करते हैं, जिससे मसला क्या होता है कि जो चीज चल रही है वो भी नहीं चलती. So you coming back to the thing again, go slow and steady. Then that will win the race.
Right. So tell me, you have fantastically put that one has to go very laser focused when it comes to entrepreneurship mindset. And then, of course, doing a lot of things doesn't mean that you're doing and growing in the right direction. Tell me, Karim, that if some businesses are doing great over the period and all of a sudden there's something that's going wrong and it's not sustaining the business portfolio, what is exactly that goes wrong in that situation?
Well, there are certainly a lot of things that can go wrong in an organization, and especially these days you see that the world economy is changing drastically. If you see Pakistan on the whole, there's so many issues revolving around Pakistan that the price of the raw material is getting higher. There is a lot of electricity, gas, water issues, and also the deliveries are getting, they're getting delayed a lot during the shipment time. तो प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि आपका प्रोडक्ट इधर लेट हो जाता है अगर फिनिश प्रोडक्ट मंगा रहे हैं, या फिर आपकी जो प्रोडक्ट कॉस्ट है एंड की वो महंगी हो जाती है. And then at times it gets difficult to survive in the market, जिसकी वजह से consumer acceptance कम होती है, because it's a whole, you see, it's a whole ecosystem. So for a manufacturer, if he's getting the raw materials in time, if the prices are right, he can make a good finished product at a reasonable price where the audience can accept it or the consumer can accept the product at that particular price. If the price gets higher, the product price will get higher.
Right.
Product price will get higher, sales will get lower. So as the sales get lower, the revenue will get lower basically, and the net profit will decrease.
Right.
So what will happen eventually, the fixed cost is there, the fixed cost will increase, fixed cost will increase, the company will go in loss. So companies को ये it's a whole circle, and ये सारी companies, कोई भी brand हो, छोटा हो, बड़ा हो, startup, founder हो, is there has to go through this cycle.
Right.
बस ये कोशिश करनी होती है कि आपके मार्जिन्स इतने हों, आप लिमिटेड मार्जिन्स रखें ताकि वॉल्यूम ज़्यादा मिल जाए. When you get that sort of volume, all the fixed costs will dilute, and once the fixed cost gets dilute, then the profitability is there.
Right.
Obviously ये सोचना नहीं होता कि आप पहले 6 महीने में ही प्रॉफिट बनाएं. It takes time, but इतना हो जाए कि आप एक सर्टेन लेवल पे खड़े हो. छोटे स्टार्टअप्स अक्सर क्या गलती कर देते हैं कि वो इतना हाई मार्जिन रखते हैं प्रॉफिट का कि वो उनको वॉल्यूम्स नहीं मिलते और उनकी फिक्स कॉस्ट डाइल्यूट नहीं होती. सेल्स, क्योंकि इवेंचुअली सेल्स नहीं हो रही होती, क्योंकि कंज्यूमर को ट्रायल भी तो जनरेट कराना होता है, एंड कंज्यूमर को आप अगर अच्छी प्राइस देंगे तो ही वो आपके पास आएगा, कीप्स ऑन कमिंग बैक फॉर मोर, अदरवाइज दे आर नॉट गोना कम बैक.
Right.
सो ये सर्कल में जो फिट हो गया, जिसको ये समझ आ गया कि किस तरह से काम करना है, देन उनके लिए कभी प्रॉब्लम नहीं आती. देन अदर प्रॉब्लम्स, आपने कोविड देखा होगा
जी.
अब इतना कोविड के टाइम में बंद हुआ, फिर लॉकडाउन के टाइम्स आए. सो ये चीजें भी अफेक्ट कर रही होती हैं बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को. But to overcome that, you need to have a strategy in place in which you can sell the minimum volume, threshold volume which you want to sell, which an organization has to sell to be very easily, you could say, come out of that mess. So this is how it is, and ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई organization loss नहीं करती. Even multinationals do heavy losses at times.
Absolutely.
And but it's just that it's the strategy that one is working at. So
Right.
how should they go about their brand?
Right. So when it comes to Pakistan, because your brand and your organization is one of the biggest pride that we hold, as an entire 55 years of legacy being carried forward. In Pakistan, we have ambitious people. We have got people who have got entrepreneurial mindset. Sometimes they have also delivered beyond what has been expected out of them. Why is it that despite the fact we have got great resources, we have got cheaper labor, we have got great ideas, yet many organizations do not fly off?
It's just that you need to identify the need and wants of the customer. So let's take an example of Igloo on the whole. So what we do is usually, because we are a local homegrown brand, we know कि हम market service करते हैं, हम consumer की preference देख रहे होते हैं. We make a product according to their requirement. If I start making, let's take something, a matcha ice cream right now in Pakistani market. And we're dealing with it's a huge population in Pakistan itself, but I don't want to cater to the 1% of the market. So there are two types of companies. Company A, who just deals with the niche audience and has a niche product and just caters to a very high-end audience. And then there is another company who deals with the masses, with high volumes and reasonable price product, and it sells to everyone around the country. So we are one of those companies कि हम high volumes पे बेचते हैं. We cater to the larger bench of audience. So for a company like me, I won't launch in matcha ice cream. Rather than that, I might launch a mango ice cream, which the country loves. I mean, mango खाने वाली कौम है. हम लोग mango की ice cream भी बना सकते हैं. Maybe we can make a kulfa ice cream. So you need to localize your taste according to the customer preference. And that's how you get the customer on board.
Right.
So customer भी आजकल बहुत picky and choosy हो गया. So if you give them what they want, what they desire, then they're definitely gonna be your loyal customer.
Right.
अब वो दौर नहीं रहा कि हम कहते थे कि loyal customer है हमारे brand के, because there's so many brands out there in the market. So if you give them what they need and want, definitely they're going to stick with you. And obviously the price should be right.
Right.
Often we forget about the price, but the price is very important factor because it's a price conscious market at the end of the day.
Right.
So if you want to cater to the larger bench of audience, the masses, then definitely the price should be right and the product should be great enough that they should accept it.
Right. Interesting, very interesting answer, Karim. Here I'd like to also mention that when it comes to our institution, Beacon House International College, we ensure that our graduates are getting international quality premium education and they get an equal chance to experiment, incubate it in a country like Pakistan, which is always welcome incubating, whether it's a teaching profession, being a doctor, being an entrepreneur, and even being, a tech IT expert. Pakistan has never failed to, provide that platform. But when it comes to the, political, economical, technological, and legal parameters, what do you think would occur to especially the future of our Pakistan in terms of Gen Zs opening up their startups? What kind of inhibitions, problems, and what kind of parameters they need to bear in mind in order to fight those elements and become more aware of these legal and logistical bindings?
So I believe, I mean, at this point of time, the stage the Gen Zs are in, I believe it's the right time because things are getting digitalized, and this is what Pakistan should have done in the last 5 years. कि यार digitalization कर दें. But the good thing is digitalization हो रही है, and people should just go online and see how things should be done, how the company can be registered, how they can register their brand name, maybe they can become a text filer. वो सब चीज़ें अब ऑनलाइन हो गई हैं.
Right.
So अब वो टाइम चले गया जब हम एक ज़माने में ऑफिसों पे जाते थे लोगों के कि हमें ये चीज़ का मेंबर बनना है, हमें ये ब्रांड रजिस्टर कराना है, कोर्ट में जा रहे हैं, या हमें टैक्स फाइलर बनना है, एंड stuff like that. So everything has been organized in a way that the individual can just go online and then search it, and then they can register for it themselves. So this is something very good. But obviously, yes, in a country like Pakistan, there are also challenges. And I would say the gap which in the market is like right now, AI ka daur hai. If they grasp the AI and the technology part, the sooner the better, because इसके अंदर बहुत gap है. They can work from home, they can do content creation, they can do social media marketing, they can maybe start up their own food brands. We see a lot of food brands coming up in the market, and this is a very great platform कि जहाँ पे ये लोग start कर सकते हैं. And ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप कोई consumer brand खोलें, आप food brand खोलें, आप e-commerce पे store start कर सकते हैं. E-commerce is trending these days in Pakistan, and it's much easier to do work in these kind of environments rather than setting up your factory or getting a product from imported from somewhere and then putting up in the shops and giving the margins and then getting registered through FBR and all these things. So आजकल there are avenues, but one has to think out of the box.
Right.
They should be creative enough कि यार ये चीज मैं करूँ. I have seen people selling cookies and they've been successful. तो ओवरनाइट सेंसेशंस की जो आप बात कर रही हैं वो हमने देखी है लिटरली कि कॉफी शॉप्स, कुकी शॉप्स, नूडल शॉप्स, दे ऑल ग्रोइंग इन पाकिस्तान, एंड इट्स जस्ट द राइट आइडिया executed at the right time. Excellent. This is what matters.
Excellent. So tell me, Karim, think of a 19, 20-year-old, Pakistani graduate from Beacon House International College, who has got great dreams, passion, but is not sure about his or her future in Pakistan. So what is that one brutal truth you will tell them to gear up with in order to face the reality of Pakistan?
I mean, they should get rid of the fear part first. This is the most important thing. Any individual working in an organization, studying somewhere, the main important factor is कि हमारे दिलों में जो fear है ना, ये निकालना ज़रूरी है. अगर हम आज नहीं निकालेंगे तो हम कल सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो सकते. जिस दिन हमने ये निकाल दिया और जो हमारे दिमाग में आइडिया हमने कर दिया, that will be the day you'll start learning, experiencing something new, and maybe grow yourself.
Right.
So one has to grow his or herself in a way कि वो कुछ सीख के अपने आप को ग्रो करे.
लेकिन
अगर हम डर में रहेंगे तो हम कभी भी आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते.
आपको लगता नहीं है कि in our society fear is embedded?
Embedded, yes.
तो हर चीज पे तो fear हम embed कर रहे हैं. So tell me a practical approach कि एक बच्चे का अगर हम fear निकालना चाह रहे हैं, let's say again going back at the body of a 19-year-old, passionate but unsure.
Yeah,
graduate.
19 years की age is still too young. They should not be, I mean, worried about these things. They're still too young to decide what they want to do in life. Even I think 19 years का बच्चा अभी bachelors में भी नहीं गया होता, and they don't even have to. ये तो हम 22, 23 years का होता है, bachelors में बच्चा जाता है, वो select करता है मेरे majors क्या होने चाहिए. That's the time they have to decide their majors. At 19, you just relax, sit back and enjoy the ride. See what's happening around you. See what's happening in life in Pakistan. I mean, the more you see, the more you learn. It's what I say to everyone कि आप हर जगह जाते हैं. जैसे if you go to a grocery store, if you get on a grocery store, you see an aisle of products in front of you. The more you see the products, the more you will know what kind of USPs they have, what kind of pricings they sell at, and what kind of audience or consumer they are targeting at. So अगर आप इस तरह हर चीज़ में आप देखेंगे तो सीखेंगे. जैसे गाड़ी के शोरूम पे जाएंगे तो वहाँ 6 किस्म की गाड़ियाँ खड़ी होंगी. You look at the car, you look at the features, you look at the price. You keep on learning. That will embed in your mind कि यार मैं किस तरह से क्या चीज़ बेहतर कर सकता हूँ. And then एक सर्टेन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम के बाद आपको एक आइडिया आएगा, यार इस चीज़ का तो बड़ा गैप है, यार ये चीज़ तो मैं कर सकता हूँ या
राइट
कर सकती हूँ। सो पहली चीज़ तो ये है कि आप अपने आसपास जो चीज़ें हैं, आसपास के लोग हैं, उन्हीं से मिलें, उन्हीं से बातें करते हैं, तो उनसे सीखें। हमारे यहाँ है ना, हम बस एक छोटे से बबल में रहते हैं,
राइट
उस बबल से निकलते ही नहीं है। एंड फिर हम कहते हैं कि यार हम कैसे करेंगे, किस तरह से होगा, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली हमारे साथ जो दोस्त होते हैं मोस्टली वो कहते हैं यार ये नहीं होगा, ये फेल आइडिया है। जब तक कोई निकलेगा नहीं, वन शुड गो आउट ऑफ द कंफर्ट जोन टू सी हाउ लाइफ इज।
राइट
यू कैन नेवर सिट एट योर होम रिलैक्स एंड देन यू सी के यार, और फिर आप सोचते रहो मेरे साथ क्या होगा आगे, मैं किस तरह से आगे बढ़ूंगी, मैं आगे किस तरह से बैचलर्स करूंगी, कहाँ एडमिशन लूंगी, ये चीज़ें है ना, आप बैठे रहोगे तो नहीं होगा। बट वंस यू गेट आउट ऑफ योर कंफर्ट जोन is the time when you will see yourself growing and you will find success somewhere at some
right
point of time, whether it's education, whether it's a company you want to work at, whether it's a startup you want to do.
right Kareem, tell me, what is one habit that you think Gen Zs should immediately get done with completely before they even think of becoming an entrepreneur in
I
our
mean,
country?
they should stop being impatient
Okay.
because जल्दी जल्दी करते हैं, बोलते हैं यार अब दिल खत्म हो गया इस चीज़ का, अब दूसरी चीज़ करनी है। सो एक चीज़ पे आप जब लगे तो ठान लें कि यार ये करना है मुझे,
Right.
and then go for it, because life is short. The time which you are utilizing now, it's not ever going to come back again. So make the most of it. If you want to enjoy it to the max. If you want to do something, grow yourself in a particular field, in a particular career, do it now. Start learning. And the more you educate yourself is I mean, the better you're going to be in future. So I mean, and we as individuals also learn every day something new. जैसे अब मैं जिस फील्ड का एक्सपर्ट हूँगा, शायद आप उस फील्ड की ना हो, लेकिन आप जिस फील्ड के एक्सपर्ट हैं, मैं उस फील्ड का एक्सपर्ट नहीं हूँगा. So the more you meet, the more you network with people, is the way you learn new things, is the way you grow, and is the way how you can make your startup a better company.
Right. Kareem, you have already seen our facility partially.
Yes.
With this kind of a facility, with the kind of provision, with the kind of aspects, holistic development we have borne in mind to create a learning environment for the students, you think with this amount of actions that have been taken on our part as an institution, and the kind of quality of education and students we are getting on board, what is the prospect of our graduates coming with the mindset of becoming entrepreneurs of Pakistan and internationally goes aligned with your thoughts as an entrepreneur who's already successful?
Yeah, I believe it's a great initiative. I've always seen Beacon House as a schooling system, and now for the first time, I've visited this place, and it's a great college. And it's a great place to be. Multiple things from the sports room to the gaming arena. I mean, there's something for everyone. बंदा पढ़ता तो रहता ही है, लेकिन साथ में entertainment के लिए भी है. Libraries are also state of the art. So I personally believe when someone like you or Beacon House or any other organization gives a place like this to the individual, they'll have an open mindset for things. They'll mindset will grow further, and this should happen in any other institute as well. You should give the individual a space where they can learn and they can also enjoy and unwind. Because हम अक्सर ना इतना stressed out हो जाते हैं, पढ़ाई के वक्त तो हर बंदा stressed out ही होता है. Mostly people they study in the last days. तो आप environment ही ऐसा दे देंगे तो बंदा पढ़ता भी रहेगा, time भी spend करेगा, and then they can also unwind themselves.
Right. As an entrepreneur and a successful one, what is your take on mental well-being of your employees, of the youth that we have right now?
So I mean, you should take time off for yourself. You should give time to your family, because we live in an environment where we spend most of the times with our family in Pakistan. बाहर तो सब अलग अलग होते हैं, but पाकिस्तान के अंदर mostly families के साथ होते हैं. You can unwind yourself. You can go out with friends. You should give time for everything. What happens is we keep ourselves inside a bubble and then we get stressed out. कि यार ये पढ़ाई नहीं हो रही, exam आ रहा है. You have to take a break from everything and then just go out and unwind. Once you do that, then when you can come back again to the same environment, things are way different than what it was before, because you are way more relaxed, less stressful, and आपकी एंग्जाइटी खत्म हो जाती है, तो आप ज़्यादा बेहतर से काम कर सकते हैं.
Right.
चाहे आप बिजनेस कर रहे हो या चाहे आप पढ़ाई कर रहे हो. तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि ये आपके ना द लाइफ स्टाइल शुड बी बैलेंस्ड.
Right.
इट शुड नॉट बी ऑलवेज वन थिंग कि यार उसी को मैं करूँ.
Right. करीम, it has been seen कि पाकिस्तान के अंदर यूजली एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप वो लोग लेना चाहते हैं जिनको नौकरी नहीं करनी, या जिनको जल्दी नहीं उठना, या जिनको किसी की बॉसीनेस नहीं लेनी है. हाउ ट्रू इज दैट?
नहीं, ये तो गलत है बिकॉज आपको मैंने जैसे बताया कि एक एंटरप्रेन्योर होता है, उसको जब बिजनेस स्टार्ट करता है तो he or she does not have any idea how to go about things. Entrepreneurship is basically, in short, what I can say, it's all about being disciplined. When you are in a university or a college, there are rules and regulations for everything. The way you should be dressed, the timings to attend a class, the SOPs to sit in a class, what to bring with you, how to study, क्या आपका course outline होती है. Similarly, in life or in business, one has to create their own SOPs. They have to create their own, you could say, laws, rules and regulations on how the business should be run. The teams किस तरह से बनेंगी, क्योंकि आप डिसिप्लिन नहीं होंगे तो आपकी कंपनी नहीं चल सकती. सिंपल एज दैट, इन शॉर्ट. बाकी तो फिर ये है कि उसके बाद दे हैव टू bear all the cost and the expenses to run the business, to run the show, because they are the leader. And अगर leader अच्छा नहीं होगा, if you don't have the leadership skills, leadership abilities, then your team won't follow you. And if the team doesn't follow you, then the business will never be successful. Right. So it's all about the right kind of leadership that you're giving to the end user and your team, and also how you're running the organization in the most disciplined way.
Yeah, Daniel Goleman says discipline is all about tough love.
That's true.
And this brings me to my very last and the most important question. Then, in a nutshell, tell me, Karim, with your immense experience, 5 skills that youth, young individuals, young budding entrepreneurs must have in order to become successful, with minimum dissonance and minimum trials that they may go through.
So I believe the first more is like important is the communication skills. That is very important. And then comes the rest of the things. I mean, they should have the leadership abilities. They should be good at what they are doing. I mean, it could be negotiating skills if they want to work in supply chain. And obviously, they should be hands-on on the technology part, because these days technology is very important. Whether you're running a e-commerce website or running a software, you should know how the computer should be run, and emails and all these kind of things. But technology is, I believe, is going to be taking over in the next 2-3 years, especially AI. And if people are learning AI right now, this is the best time, because the next future jobs are going to be all related to AI. और ये बहुत सी jobs हैं जो खत्म हो जाएंगी during this time frame.
Right.
And lastly, I think the individual itself should be disciplined enough that the organization sees him or her seriously and make them grow.
Right.
So yeah, क्योंकि growth के लिए discipline होना ज़रूरी है. They should be hardworking. They should be persistent. They should carry themselves. And if you are carrying yourself properly, then the people who are looking at you from the top, they're definitely going to make you grow, and they're going to make you promote in that particular organization.
Right. A quick 2-minute rapid fire round with you.
ये तो rapid fire होगी already.
So tell me, would you be an early bird or a night owl?
Early bird. I am an early bird.
Okay. Would you discipline your work or your eating?
Eating. This is one thing I need to control.
Would you spend on marketing or on product development?
Both.
Well, you can choose one.
Marketing is very important, yes.
Okay. Would you depend on your network or your production? Networking with people, or spending time on producing more and more?
Spending time with producing more and more, yes.
Okay. Would you stay in your own city to operate at a larger level, or you go international or out of your city?
Yeah, I do go international, a lot of international trips, yes.
Okay.
Because when your business starts growing, then you got to go out, export products internationally, and then you got to visit exhibitions. So the more people you meet, it's simple as that. The more people you meet, you network with them, the more ideas you get, the more orders you get, you make your product available internationally.
Okay.
This is how.
One last rapid fire round question is, would you work with your friends who are not aligned with your thoughts, or you'd work with your competitor who's successful?
Well, it depends on the situation. I worked with a lot of friends though, and then I've had a lot of hardships during that time. So I mean, I have no regret working with my competitors, and I am still working with my competitors who are successful. It doesn't matter. I mean, देखें, if they are successful, this means they have done something right in their
Correct.
job. And we should not be jealous about it
Yeah.
or feel sad about it.
Yeah.
We should work more harder to make ourselves grow,
Right.
make our brand grow. And this is what I've been doing since last 15 years. And I even tell my team that look at yourself, make your brand grow, and don't look at others. Obviously, look at the good things, but we don't have to see how good they have become, how big they have become. It's their own strategy. We will work with our own strategy and make ourselves grow.
Absolutely. Beautifully put. Thank you so much, Karim, for being here on our
Thank you.
podcast, Corporate Leadership Series. And I cannot thank enough because you have given us such an augmented picture of entrepreneurship, especially the mindset matters the most. And I think it's such a blessing for our country, Pakistan, that we have got great, successful entrepreneurs like yourself who are ready to welcome themselves as coaches, mentors, and also, venture capitalists to promote product ideas of youth of Pakistan. And on this, on behalf of Beacon House International College, thank you so much, and we keep seeing you again.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
Wishing you all the very best.
Thank you, Ji.